सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय, महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की जय. Yesterday we had left 18th chapter in half. We finished A and B part of it with the definitions. Now we have to come to the final state, that is BRAMHAPAD, that is the realized state, the enlightened state. Now, I think that's the main aim of any seeker, anyone who's on this path of spiritualism wants to attain that point. Most of the obstacles are on mental level. They are very few on physical level. But it is on mental level that we need to overcome the hurdles, most of us, and attain a state which is called Brahmapad, a realized state. I think once you realize it, you may not know, but the others will start seeing something divine in you. Let's see how this state is. It is supposed to be a state which is pure knowledge personified. When you look at the person, you feel here's knowledge personified. Knowledge is in the form of this person. And it seems to be a pure intellect. I have a feeling it is like the camphor and the fire. When they come in contact, there is light. And once the camphor is done with, the light ends. Something like that it must be. Whenever there are certain problems or questions, the answer comes. And then once the question is solved, probably the state of knowing comes to a halt. It takes rest in self. Then second, he's a man, she's a man, or he's a man of faith. She's a person of faith. Then you don't have much use of the sense subjects and objects. This is something we all need to realize it. One doesn't get, one may speak and make the difference, or one may make the difference without speaking. A sadhu sometimes need not speak. He may just make difference in your life and go. I will tell you a very interesting story here about Bhagwan Nityananda. One day he approached a lady, he says, I want some coffee. So she says, go and brush your teeth first before you have coffee. So Bhagwan Nityananda went and washed himself and came. And he told her, I have washed my mouth, but when will you wash your heart? So these are the ways the saints, I think, they live. Their presence makes a lot of difference. They have little anger, they have little hate. I would say no anger and no hate. Then they live in isolation. Yes, they live alone. I mean, they don't feel that they are lonely. They just tend to live alone. They eat minimum. I've got to develop that. I have to learn to eat minimum. Then they should use the speech, the mind and the body is little used by them. It is little used by them. Then they live by dispassion. Well, friends, this we are talking about Siddha Gurus. They live by dispassion. I have to, about eating minimum, I need to give the example of my Gurudev Umanand Saraswati. Uh, Last couple of months of her life, she lived only by tasting a teaspoon of uh, some element like milk or a little bit of mixed food or something, but 1 teaspoon. And she had totally given up on for almost 6 months. Uh, well, uh, I think you start going into these subtle states of life, which is a very difficult thing. But yes, eat minimum, use little speech, mind and body, living by dispassion, and giving up pride, desire, and anger. Uh, then the person sits in silence, and such a person is worthy of BRAMHAPAD, that is the highest state of realization. Uh, what is this state? What do you attain from such discipline? What does one attain from such discipline? It's a blissful state, and it is blissful due to knowledge. Yeah. Now, whenever you are in a group and suppose some problem comes up and you get the solution, uh, for days together, you dwell in joy. You keep on telling everybody, see, I could get that solution. See, I could think of the solution. That joy, if you realize it, of being able to find solution to a problem or come up with a solution, gives us joy. So it's just a wave of knowledge. So if there is continuous waves of knowledge, can you imagine how blissful we can be? Yes, I think I've also seen my father in such a state. Well, he was nothing but we used to call him a moving encyclopedia. My father is a historian. The other day I was very keen on telling a story. I was wanting to write a book on my parents, and I wrote a book on my parents, Usha Madhav. And for a couple of months, I thought that I was after it came to almost an end. I realized, or I felt. So I felt that I had diverted from my guru attention to guru to something personal like my parents. So I was wondering whether I had annoyed my guru. So in my prayers, I said, I hope you are not annoyed, Gurudev, that I have given 6 months to my parents on a spiritual path. So very sweet intuition I received. She says, what is the title of the book? So I said, Usha Madhav. And she says, what does the first two alphabets of both the names make? So I said, Uma. Uma is the name of my Gurudev. And well, my day was made. My day was made. Well, friends, that was something very nice. And of course, it never shows the state which is blissful, doesn't show distress, nor it shows desires. Then it has equality for all beings. It looks upon everyone as an equal a person, doesn't look at somebody less or more, and it attains parabhakti, a devotion of the highest category. It's a devotion of the highest category. Then this devotion and intuition, by devotion and intuition, the devotee becomes a siddha. The siddha becomes almost equivalent to the value of God. So it's like this devotional state and with an intuitive mind. So it's a beautiful state. Yes, I can visualize. Maybe I must have attained a small percentage of this. Anyway, what sort of activities does such a Siddha perform after Brahmapad? We realized what is Brahmapad, then we realized what does this state result into, and now we are saying what sort of things he does. So he continues to take the support of God and lives by the support of God. He lives by the support of God. And he does his normal duties. Duties he doesn't leave. Then he gives all the credit to God. And whatever good happens, he says it's by the will of God and by the grace of God. And then his thoughts, they are continuously, they are on God. Um, and he's free from other bondage. He It's not that he does not like people, but he is not bound to them. When they are around, he enjoys thinking that it's the grace of this God that he has got this company. And when he is without company also, he feels it's the grace of once I had asked my Gurudev in meditation that it is for years I am staying like all by myself. So what am I supposed to do? So she said, why don't you do austerities, tarp, dhyan, meditation? Yes, my life has been enriched by this. Then in a personal, now it's a concluding advice which is given to Arjun. So Arjun was told by Lord Krishna that you may not want to fight now, but your nature is basically going to make you come back to war again. So why don't you fight when there is a situation which is brought up and which is important? It is needed that you fight here because situations also need to come even if your nature is so. Then he says you are not only, if you will, you are bound to surrender to your very nature. So what is the nature? For example, sometimes I complete my writings and then I get a couple of days free and I feel now I don't have much to do or work or something like that. And then suddenly after 2-3 days I feel, what, I don't have any work, my God, I don't know what to do. So I'll pick up some work myself and start working. So our nature, if it is hooked on to some concept, it does not leave. So the nature of a warrior also, I mean, he is bound to return, come back to his state of wanting to fight. So he says, your nature you will have to surrender to, but surrender to God also, because he can bring peace. I mean, after you, even if you surrender to God, you should be at peace with the whole activity that you perform. He says, then he says, you worship him, you salute him, and you leave everything to God and surrender to him. And what will God do instead? He will set you free. He will set you free. Then Krishna tells Arjun that this is a very secretive thing that I have told you. It's a highest secret. He's secret. And he says, because such devotees, they're very, very dear to me. And God says, I almost love these devotees. They're as good as me. And he says, hear Gita with faith, with no hate, get liberated and attain a highest abode. Friends, the question was asked to Arjun. What is it? Are you still in your dilemma of fight or not to fight, or war or not to war? So Arjun says, no, Sri Krishna, no. Now I'm free from my dilemma, then my memory has returned, then my grace is gained again, my mind is free of doubts, my intellect is steady, and there is no more confusion left. And now Bhagavad Gita was, the entire scene was described to King Dhritarashtra by Sanjay, because King Dhritarashtra was blind, and it was a war between his sons Kaurav and their cousins Pandav. And Vyas had given Sanjay the capacity, a divine vision to view the battle and relate the entire thing to King Dhritarashtra. So in the end, Lord Sanjay says, well, I heard this dialogue and I have come to one conclusion for sure. Wherever there is a person like Sri Krishna and wherever there is a warrior like Arjun, I won't say a warrior, a devotee like Arjun, there is bound to be victory, welfare, and great morality and fortune. Uh, Friends, this is Bhagavad Gita. We have come to the end of it. There is on 14th August is Sri Krishnashtami. I humbly seek the blessings of Bhagwan Sri Krishna and my Gurudev for helping me to complete this responsibility which I had taken in the interest of some of my very dear devotees and also the seekers. So go through them again. They are just 20, almost 20 cassettes only of 3 minutes each, 3 to 5 minutes each. We have finished Bhagavad Gita, and I'm sure we'll find another very interesting text later. However, I'll definitely try and find a very interesting work again to come and meet you all. Meanwhile, I have in my mind to talk about, tell some stories and turn to a Hindi and a Marathi delivery of this topic, Bhagavad Gita, because many people have approached me that I should be talking to them in Hindi and Marathi. So let's say, we will just say Om Tat Sat at the end of the program. And I'm Swami Radhikananda from Pune. And that was my service at the feet of Lord Krishna and trying to deliver Bhagavad Gita's philosophy in simple words. It's a philosophy for every individual. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai, Mahayogi Swami Umanand Saraswati ki jai.